So this is the first time we've ever done this here on RetroCore. We're going to do a games pickup. And over the last couple of days I've picked up quite a few games for upcoming shows and so on. So let's take a look at the stuff which I've picked up. Okay, so first off, let's start off with the Dreamcast games. Now there's been quite a few Dreamcast games which I've been meaning to feature on RetroCore in the future. And these are a few which I've picked up. And knowing RetroCore, some of them are going to be a bit obscure. So first up we got Au Toilet. And Au Toilet is pretty much a music sequencing software which enables you to connect your Dreamcast to a MIDI compatible keyboard. It's quite a nice bit of equipment, and it's made by Waka Entertainment, who also did Technomoto on the Sega Saturn, which is a similar type of thing. Then of course we've got we got Capcom vs SNK 2 Millennium Fight. Yes, I've had this in the past, but I was stupid enough and sold my copy, and now we've got it back again, so I'm really looking forward to playing this a bit more. Sticking with more classic Dreamcast games, we've got Guilty Gear X. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't come with the 3-inch funny shaped audio CD, but at least it's got the spine card, so that's good news. Now, a game which you may not know about is Get Connolly's. Now, this is basically Othello, and it's kind of interesting, the way it plays. It's a nice, cute little diversion from the usual stuff you get on the Dreamcast. Definitely worth checking out. And finally, we've got two classics. We've got Blue Stinger and Macken X. Now, Macken X is one of the first FPSs I played on the Dreamcast. In fact, actually, it may be the first FPS that was on the Dreamcast. Actually, I don't even know if you could call it an FPS, because you don't really go around shooting things. You're mostly smacking with your sword. Now, the reason why I really like Macken X is it's got a bizarre storyline, and coming from Atlas, you'd expect that. It's kind of how to say, it's definitely up there in the sci-fi regions and can be a little bit difficult to follow if you're not interested in that sort of stuff, but if you are, I definitely recommend picking it up. It looks fantastic, runs at 60 frames a second from what I remember, and even now the visuals don't look too bad. And of course we got Blue Stinger, and a lot of people did give Blue Stinger a lot of stick when it first came out, but personally I like it. It's a pretty interesting survival horror game with a nice Christmas theme. Definitely want to play around the Christmas time. And these days the graphics, well, they're kind of looking a little bit old and basic, but they still do the job. So they're the Dreamcast games which I picked up, and of course you'll be seeing them and many more in the future RetroCore special. Okay, and we also picked up a PlayStation 2 game. Yes, this is Ridge Racer 5. Now, surprisingly, I didn't have this in my collection, and I don't know why, because it's an excellent racer. And again, one which didn't get the recognition which it deserved when it first came out. But if you've got a PlayStation 2 and you've never played Ridge Racer 5, you should really go and pick it up, because it's well worth owning. It's a great addition to the Ridge Racer library. Now, I also bought a PlayStation console, which is actually down here. Let me get it. Now, I am planning to do a RetroCore show on the PlayStation, and I usually play my PlayStation games on a PlayStation 2. But, if I'm going to be doing a RetroCore on a PlayStation, I should be using the real console. So here it is. It works. The audio was skipping a little bit on it. Hopefully it will survive long enough to do the show whenever I get round to doing it. But with that PlayStation came 5 copies of Beyblade, all factory sealed. Yeah. Now, I have absolutely no use for these, so what I'm going to do is give them away to my Patreon subscribers. Now, anyone who subscribes more than $20 for this month or next month will get themselves one of these games, along with the usual copies of all the shows that have been released to that date, and on DVD, along with all the extras such as the title card artwork and the scrolling text bar scripts and so on. And of course, don't forget all those Japanese treats as well, such as the sweets, and I'm thinking of putting in some Japanese curry in the next parcel. So apart from the usual extras, you will also get one of these. So that's for Patreon subscribers who subscribe more than $20 for the month. Okay, So I also picked up quite a few PlayStation games. Now, some of these you may have heard of, some of them you may have not heard of. So first off, we got this. This is, let's see if I pronounce this correctly. It was hard to read it. It's covered up in the plastic wrapping here. Shindidai Gekkai Action. Okay. It's actually harder to read in English. And this is an action game made by Konami. I've not played it yet, but as you can see from the back of the box, it kind of looks really nice. It kind of looks like a Bushido Blade type game. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. We got another samurai based game here. This is Cure. And this is a one-on-one beat 'em up. And again, as you can see from the back, it kind of looks pretty good. Looking forward to that one. This one you may or may not know from the Sega Saturn. This was called, I think it was called Victory Boxing or 4D Boxing. At some point anyway in its development. This is by JVC or Victor Japan, and this is the same game on the PlayStation, but now it's fully texture mapped. The Sega Saturn game was kind of flat shaded polygons. This is the same game but looks a lot nicer. So I actually am a bit of a fan of that game, believe it or not. Now here comes one of the best pickups of the week. This is Ray Crisis. Oh yes, I really do like the Ray series of games. My favorite being Layer Section on the Sega Saturn, which is Ray Storm, I think it was originally called. But anyway, Layer Section on the Sega Saturn is one of my favorites in the series. But this is also another great addition to the series, so I'm really looking forward to playing a lot of this. Okay, now this one took me by surprise. This is simply called The Battle, and what it is it's one of the simple 2000 series of games, which was a budget line of games in Japan. And at first looking at the back of the box, I thought this was going to be a sequel to Gundam W on the Super Famicom, which is also released by Bandai. And while it's nowhere near as good, as you can see in the screenshots, it does look kind of entertaining, but it's nowhere near as good to play. It's kind of a cheap, nasty game with animation on the characters kind of similar to Ernest Evans. The characters' limbs are sort of move independently, and they're kind of drawn to make them look like the polygons, but they're not. They're 2D sprites. But, it's an interesting game, and considering the price, it's definitely worth picking up. Okay, another classic here. This is, if I pronounce it right, Guys, or whatever, hang on. Guys, that's the one. Okay, 3D beat 'em up by Square. Nice game there. Another one which I've not played yet. This is a Kagero from Tecmo. This seems to be some sort of adventure action game, 3D. Looks pretty good from the box. Never read any reviews on it, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. Smash Court Tennis 3. Can't go wrong with that. Namco Smash Court series of tennis games is excellent. If you've never tried them, you really should do. And we got to have a classic Ridge Racer. So I had Ridge Racer a while ago, the full price version, but the disc just stopped working for some reason. So I picked it up again for 50 yen. There's no spine card, unfortunately, and it is the PlayStation best release, but it's one of the classics. And even though it doesn't look that good visually these days, it's still definitely a game worth playing. And we're coming near the end of the PlayStation pickups. We got this one, which is what the hell is that called? Inuyasha. Okay, you can tell I'm not into this anime, even though it is made by the same person that did two of my favorite animes of all time, being Amazing Koku and Urusei Yatsura. This is a Rumiko Takahashi based anime, but this game itself seems to be some sort of one-on-one beat 'em up, judging by the screenshots on the back of the box. Again, I've not played it, but it does look interesting, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out also. But one game I have played an awful lot is Rival Schools, or Justice Gakuin. And this is the original release here on the PlayStation. And being a Japanese release, it comes with, of course, the manual, as you'd expect. And some little extra paper here with movesets on. And 2 discs. Yes, comes with 2 discs. One disc being the arcade version, and the other disc being named Evolution. And finally, for the PlayStation pickups, I got this. This is simply known as the Intro Quiz. It's another one of those simple series. This is actually the simple 1500 series, which basically means they were sold for 1,500 yen. This is volume 84. Basically what this is a J-pop music intro quiz game. Yes, as you can see from the screenshots, you just listen to some music, hit the buzzer when you know what the song is, and that's it. And surprisingly, I got quite far into it. I got up to the 4th level. Most of the songs are from the early 90s. Not early 90s, mid 90s to the early 2000s. Actually, when did this come out? I can't see any date on it. But yeah, most of the songs that I saw were from the late 90s for sure. Okay, and finally we did get one more thing this week, and that is this. This is another Chinese clone. This is another Famicom thing. But surprisingly, this isn't what you may think about it. So I'm going to be doing a special video on this, so I hope you stay tuned for that in the future and check it out. Okay, so that's it for the game pickups for the last couple of days, or basically this week. And you probably noticed that a lot of my games are in these sleeves. If I can just get them out here. Now, the reason I keep the games in these sleeves is I like to keep the disc cases scratch free. And these are the particular sleeves I use. Now, you can buy these on Amazon in Japan, and I'm sure you can buy them, on Amazon in the US or the UK as well. But yeah, if you want to keep your CD games looking clean and display them with the spine cards on the side, these are definitely worth picking up, these little plastic pouches. And best of all, as you can see, they fit standard CD cases and the slightly fatter ones. So that's all we got time for in this little roundup of the buys. I'll be making another video next time I pick up some games, so hopefully if you enjoyed this one, you'll tune in for the next one. Until then, keep on gaming and enjoy your games.